We're in. This is a demo for a game called CITADEL. It looks pretty good. I like the art style. I like the sound. It's a custom hand-created artwork from a unique individual, I'm sure. Now, this is a demo. I'm going to do my theatrical reading of the text if there is no voice acting. Otherwise, obviously, the safe option would be voice acting to avoid my words. But we'll see how it goes. New game. Are you ready? You better be ready. Bubbles. Light. Click. Brilliant white light scatters across the surface of the primordial solution, suspending my body adrift in watery solitude. A gentle warmth of the mixture embraces me like a nurturing mother. The liquid fills my lungs, heavy and thick like tar. With every breath and rhythmic rise and fall of my chest, as I part my lips, bubbles gently break away, rising up to the surface above. Yes, the bright light. The solution nourishes my body. My mouth tingles with each saline sip. Despite its liquid state, it seems to be providing my body with ample oxygen. With a wave of blissful relief, I let go of all the tension as I float in this Cambrian sea. Silence. Until a moment ago, I knew nothing of this experience they call consciousness. There's a itching from some recessed synapse fumbling around for a notion of the previous, but it's clearly absent. And yet I feel none of the fear. I know this experience should bring me. I should stay here forever, drifting in and out of consciousness. But something is calling me towards that shimmering light, that fey-like light. I can't explain it. It's irrational to say the least. Why move? Why move when I can simply drift about aimlessly in this intoxicating, lazy oasis? Silence. More silence. Extra thick silence. Enough of this. Enough! I need to see what's out there. Hand to the light. Sound effects. Flailing my limbs about with a newfound vigor, I make a belligerent attempt to get my bearings. Grr. Little by little, my body calibrates to the sensation of swimming. It's almost as if it's in the DNA. When I finally reorientated my body towards the surface, I raise my head out in a childish display of wonder. The rise to the surface is more strenuous than I thought it would be. The liquid filling my lungs is affecting my ability to maintain an upward momentum. It's almost like I'm pulling against a leash held taut by some coddling force below. Sorry, Mama Bird, but it's time for baby to leave the nest. I eventually break free of my watery chains and approach the fabled light. As I reach my hand out, I feel a tug of resistance before breaching the surface. I seem to have punctured some sort of membrane. You gotta break a few eggs if you want to wear trousers. I am now Frogman. Sorry, back on track. My head emerges. Suddenly, my body is lurched forward by an unseen will. I'm spluttering out of the liquid from my mouth with violent force. All right, love. All right. The pain is excruciating. My lungs burn red. Each time I cough out water, air fills the remaining space, scraping its invisible blade against my delicate alveoli. This process of purging and regurgitation goes for what seems like hours, but it can't have been more than a minute. My heart rate slowly calms to a manageable level. The pounding in my ears falls as I regain my bearings. Grr, again. I take care to remain treading water as I rub my eyes. I am floating in a small body of water, not unlike a hot spring. It's surrounded by a rocky outcrop, with an eroded path extending at the shore. Above, the stars twinkle in the jet-black sky. This outside world is far more still than I expected it to be. Still skittish from a coughing fit, I make my way over to the shore. Again, the feeling of chained movement returns. Is there some sort of weight dragging me down? An endless desire for the abyss? I find a place shallow enough that I can stand and look down at my torso. I have a wigwam! What is that? Strange appendage. An obscene mass of flesh lies atop one of the rocks. Slippery, veiny, bulbous. What are we talking about? It's repulsive, like the last chicken in the shop look. The mere sight of it is an assault upon my eyes. The abomination is soaked with bright red blood, the excess spilling over to stain the pure spring. The blob is girt by a translucent fatty rim, which has oxidized to the metallic shade of silver. In the center, the tissue bears an appetizing shade of puce. I imagine this is what you'd see if you'd pulled back someone's skin. Ha ha ha. It must be an organ of some kind. On the outside of my body? There's a reason these things are hidden inside of us. Even Mother Nature is ashamed of her creations. Well, that took a turn. There's a small cord joined to the side of the organ. Hold on. It leads underwater, spiraling underneath. I follow its trail with my eyes. As I do, my neck slowly cranes downwards, observing the cord as it gets closer and closer to me. Something on the other end? It's attached to my body. The cord is attached to my body. I am directly joined to that grotesque mass of flesh. The mere thought is nauseating. I need to get out of this. I need to get out now. I must run, flee the scene. I don't care if it's the only thing keeping me alive. I can't tolerate it anymore. I can't trust it. Rip it all. Rip it with the teeth. Going to rip it out of me. I grasp the stump of the cord connected below my stomach. I think it'll be all right. What is pain? Breathe in. Breathe out. My new skill. I yank out the cord as hard as I possibly can, and it shreds without any resistance. I hold my breath, waiting for any sign of pain. But it never comes. Heaving a sigh of relief, I drop the now limp cord with a gentle splash. Plop. That was much easier than I thought. Turning around, I start to trek up the eroded path, falling into the rhythmic pattern of one foot in front of the other. My mind finally quiets down as I drift into a world of introspection. Upon reflexion, it is evident that my current situation is abnormal, to say the least. My memory does not extend beyond floating in that spring. Try as I might, I cannot see anything before that. So either I've never had memory and just gained it, or I've had a memory at some point but lost it. Like keys. In the case of the former, I should be a child. After all, memory develops fairly early on. I suppose this is possible, but I am almost certain that no human child has developed limbs of my length. All right. Such a thing should be an abomination, deserving of complete and utter annihilation by orbital bombardment, possibly exterminatus. Besides, children are stupid, and I am not. Children, what a bunch of losers. Therefore, I am not a child. Easy to surmise. So perhaps I did have memory at some point and simply lost it. This seems to make more sense. The fact that I can use language and I am privy to the general knowledge of the world suggests I've already had the ability to remember. But then when did I lose it? And why? I wonder just how long I was floating in that spring. Without memory, there is really no way to know. The only thing I can say for certain is that something is wrong. I can only hope that the answers await me on the journey ahead. Suddenly a wave of icy chills floods over me. Goosebumps prickle my skin, and my hairs on my body snap to attention. Cramming my arms and legs together, I start to shiver uncontrollably. I didn't realize until now just how freezing the air can be. The solution I was floating in must have shielded me from the cold. Defenseless in my naked state, wind assaults me with gusts of frigid air, called Sheila. Perhaps if I keep moving, I can warm myself. Yes, like Ash in Aliens when he jogs really tight. I press ahead with this thought in mind. The night is eerily still. My only companions, the wind and the stars, and the rocky outcrop below. It's peaceful, but I'm left longing for the sound of another living creature. It's nice to know you're not alone, even if it's just the croak of a frog, or the chirp of the crickets, or the bark of the Baskervilles. More than anything, I want someone to explain what's going on. I'm searching for answers. Who am I? Why am I here? Why is this TV turning on next to me? We don't know. But then I solved it with the off button. Mysterious. Who am I? Why am I here? Where is everybody? Oh, and some cloves would be nice too. Possibly some fritters. Some San Pellegrino. Thoughts racing in my mind. A trek onwards. The jagged ground bites at my bare feet. Grr. The pain is unbearable, but... but isn't... I know not every bear is a bear. We're not doing the lady joke. but insistent. I just need to make it to softer ground. Just as the cuts start to warrant a serious break, I notice the horizon leveling off at what looks like a vantage point. And we're all looking for a vantage point. Perfecto. I grit my teeth and endure the pain until I reach it. What is this? A dazzling stream of light hits me. Ah! Ah! Instinctively, I hold my hand to block it. Ah! And I wait for my eyes to adjust to the brightness that is the world. When I've grown accustomed to the light, my jaw drops at the sight before me. Rocks, rivers, tracks, hills, lights, buildings, and blazing light of the moon cut through a diamond window. Oh, alright, return. The view is astounding. I'm astounded. Well, thoroughly astounded. I sit for a moment, basking in the grandeur of the scene. The stars twinkle above, dazzling in the otherwise benighted plain. I can narrowly make out a bridge spanning across the river. A makeshift path extends from either end. This would make an adequate starting point for a search. My eyes dart between the structures. In the distance. Such things should have taken a number of people to build, and yet I see nothing resembling a typical housing. Perhaps they simply occupy one of those buildings, or travel here from afar. Finally, my eyes settle on the enormous tower at the edge of the valley. A prickling sensation scuttles across my limbic pathways. It's like before at the pool. A calling. Hello? Is that you, Mother? I must see to that tower. Without a second thought, I put one foot in front of the other and stumble my way down the mountainside. I keep pressing the wrong button. Eventually, I find myself in front of the bridge I saw earlier. Doormat. The river gushes underneath the furrows of the iron bridge. Rocks are stained with its mist. There's a plaque on the ground by the path with some sort of writing. Walking over to see it, I kneel down for a better look. Its letters seem to have depth. I run my head along the characters, feeling the smooth grooves beneath my fingers. Each one is marked with thousands of tiny metallic indents, the material interlocking like a finely woven cloth. Finely woven cloth? Question marco? How do I even know what such a thing feels like? I suppose memories of senses are more rudimentary than memories of events. Good covering yourself there, Dev. Pre-amnesiac me must have felt the stuff. Oh, what a life I leave behind! Never mind that. Back to the sign. It must be the name of this location. I certainly can't read it because my eyes haven't learned yet. I sit for a while gathering my thoughts, splishy splash in the water, when a ripple from the river catches my eye. Looking up, I see faint traces of movement near the water. It's difficult to discern the origin in the darkness. I squint my eyes and tiptoe towards the shoreline. I am a curious bunny. Then I see it. A tiny creature, no bigger than my pinky, scurrying around. It stops abruptly, angling its minuscule head to look up at me. The moonlight reflects in its beady eyes. It seems, to me, a sort of lizard. Hello, lizard. but it's hard to tell, especially in the dark. Probably some sort of amphibian, you know the sort. The sign escapes my body. A sigh does, that is. Finally, a sign of life. And it's harmless. Well, at least I think it is harmless. Won't put my finger in the water. Honestly, it's kind of cute. I never thought I'd say something like that about some wild critter. Show us a picture of the critter. I suppose the loneliness is really getting to me, that I'm making friends with a fish or lizard. Then I just quickly, as it appeared, the lizard thing dashes back into the safety of the water. So long, friend. Best of luck to you. I hope you have babies and families and things and whatever lizards do. Time for me to get going. I turn back towards the bridge with a newfound sense of security. I prowl over the structure, its iron floor creaking beneath my weight. As I reach its end, my eyes fall upon the distant light on the path ahead. Finally, the path arrives at the first building. It's absolutely enormous. The architecture is reminiscent of a classical style, or so my inadequate brain tells me. Huge, white-hot marble pillars form the foundations of the structure. Each line and crevice crafted with intricate masonry. Light beams out from the entrance, casting away the shadows of the night. The marble has started to chip, but such a solid construction is sure to withstand the centuries of torment before it begins to crumble. Maybe it already has. It's a sight to behold. A beautiful artwork. I can only guess at what lays inside. Steeling my nerves, I venture forth into the light with bated breath. Xenomorph! Egypt! My eyes slowly adjust to the light level inside Mesopotamia. In contrast to its imposing exterior, the interior of the building is rather small and almost claustrophobic. There's a tingle in my throat, a slight drop in my chest. Still, I've seen no one. It's really starting to get on my nerves, in fact. I creep down the hallway, watching the shadows whisper, "Shh, shadow, shush." Strange paintings of symbols and saints adorn the walls. The pigments have started to peel, leaching a dusty, alloyed musk into the stale air. The painting's presence must indicate some meaning to this place. Of art or study or religion. Perhaps the answers to my questions lie beyond this very door. Then sound effect. Freak. We're in the dark. Give me a torch. Silence. More silence. Silence. Nothing. There is nothing here. Ugh. Why did I close the door? What is this? What is this box of light? Is that a TV? I scan the room, but it's all dark. I can't see a single thing in here other than this monitor. Judging from the echo, this space must be pretty large. I want to check it out, but I'm not going to just stumble around without a light source. I turn my gaze back to the monitor. It can't have just turned on for no reason. Moving closer, I shuffle my feet until I'm right in front of the bastard. Flame? The screen screams static and color before settling into a pixelated scene of possibly an aeroplane seating. It seems to resemble an aeroplane. Oh yeah. There is a small panel beneath the main display which starts revealing words. It appears to be the narration of sorts. This is obviously some sort of scripted experience. A video game or something. You awake on the aeroplane crossing the South Pacific Ocean. Is this some sort of text adventure game? It certainly reads like one. You are marketing consultant on a return flight from a business trip. I am. I guess I'll stick around to see where this story goes. The trip was long and arduous. You are looking forward to returning home to your family. Around you, people make conversation. Eat, drink, and gaze out from their tiny windows at the blanket of blue below. Breathing a sigh of relief, you recline into your chair and feel your consciousness slip into a dreamy haze. What? Suddenly, a violent rambling jerks you awake. I mean, jerked awake. You dart your head now. You dart your head around, searching for an explanation of what's going on. The voices of people around you crescendo in volume. What's happening, they say. Horses are fearful. Flight attendants scramble towards the cockpit, hands purchased on the seats for stability. Calm down, you tell yourself. It's probably just turbulence. But it's not. A symphony of sound rolls in from the front of the cabin. Hundreds of rubber strings fall from the roof above. Oxygen masks. Your artifact shrivels into span of twine, a singular pluck of vibrating down to its ends. An automatic message on the speaker system instructs mask wearing. Flight attendants call for order for the passengers, but they won't listen. You feel the walls converge and hypoxia sets in. Both of your hands fly out, clambering for the rubber mask. Rubber my mask! Bathing in the precious air, breathing in the precious air. Is there an R there? A flush of warmth washes over you. You look to your left, there's a screaming baby. A father is helping his infant daughter with their masks whilst they wail in agony. All around you, people cry out in fear. Help me, I'm going to die here tonight. An announcement rings out through the cabin speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We have experienced a sudden loss of engine power and the flight crew is monitoring the situation. We are currently headed for an emergency landing. Don't panic. Please follow all instructions from your cabin crew in a calm and orderly manner. The pressure in your eyes grows as the airplane makes a rapid descent. The crew instructs donning the life vests in case of a water landing. Each second feels like an eternity. After what seems like hours, the captain calls out again to inform everyone that they have reached a safe altitude for mask removal. Lifting your sweat-stained tube off of you, you gaze out of the window with horror as the plane sinks lower and lower. In the distance, you see what looks like land. Then the moment of truth. Brace yourself. Oh no! You shut your eyes. Damnation! I'm wet. I don't like it. Why is there a fish swimming around my face? By some miracle, you have managed to survive the crash, much like in the series Lost. Your head is pounding, and you can barely walk straight. Many died in the crash, of course, but not you. Made of iron, you see. They don't make us like they used to. Even more are injured. Not my problem. As the haze confusion settles, people start to spread out and survey the situation. It appears that the aeroplane landed on a completely deserted island. The horizon is vacant in every direction, and the aeroplane's communication equipment has been completely destroyed. This music gets quite mad. You will have to make do until help passes by. The sun is hot. The foliage is dense. In your thick suit, you drip beads of salty sweat all over the sand. Very sweaty. You are horribly unprepared for the situation. The remaining survivors group together and head inland to make camp. The group designates members to scavenge the aeroplane for supplies and gather food and water and set up smoke signals. Plans are formulated, much like our food. Everyone prepares for the worst. Life on a desert island with a bunch of miserable bastards. Time passes, of course. Hours, then days, then weeks. Help still hasn't arrived. The group continues with the smoke signals nonetheless. You are assigned to water collection because you have no other skills. You dig trenches and split coconuts and use large leaves to collect rainwater. The work is grueling. Your sedentary body is not used to this kind of physical labor. Regular breaks are required to keep you from overexertion. Your diet consists of various fish and plant matter. Those who avoid eating the plants start to show signs of scurvy and night blindness. Despite the grim situation, your group has managed to make do with what it has. It seems that cooperation is the only thing keeping these people alive. As the days pass, supplies start to dwindle. Each day, your body grows lighter. It seems this ordeal may last longer than everyone thought. But don't worry, we're all losing weight. But you will not give up. Not like the others. You will not die here. Not like they will. One night, you decide to head down to the beach to clear your head. The pillows here aren't exactly comfortable. Oh dear. A knife. When you arrive at the shore, a horrific scene lies before you. A man lies face down in the sand. Bright red blood soaks his clothes, seeping into the ground below. Standing above him is the shadowy figure, who is scarcely recognized as one of the group's fishermen. In his hands, he grips a scarlet knife. Thin, wispy hair covers his forehead, eyes sunken and hollow. His ribs are clearly visible underneath his tattered clothing. He stands there still, looking down at the lifeless body beneath him. His face is contorted in rage as he puffs air through his big nostrils. At any second, he could lash out again. You need to do something, and fast. But he has a weapon. You don't trust your chances in a one-on-one fight because you are a bit soft. Heart pounding, you call out for help. Help! The man jolts in action, whipping his body around, stumbling through the sand as he runs away. In the distance, shadows start to move around. Two men emerge from the tree line, immediately recognize the situation. Drop the weapon, they yell, as more spectators arrive at the scene. Overwhelmed by numbers, the man drops his blade and cowers into a fetal position. He is beaten, dragged, and then restrained. Oh yeah, slap him about a bit. The commotion slowly dies down. Settle down, everybody, settle down. Order must return. I am Judge, Judy, and Executioner. I have decided he will not live. The following morning, the group meets to discuss the murder. It turns out the victim was his brother. So, is that okay? The brother had been carrying a load of food back to the camp when he was ambushed and killed in the ensuing scuffle. The perpetrator claims it was an accident. It was an accident, I tell you. I didn't mean it. I just fell on him 17 times like this. It happens to the best of us. And that he was starving and merely meant to use the knife for intimidation. You remember the look on his face? The group discusses what should be done with him. An example, perhaps. 3 options emerge from the gang of armchair judges. Execution, of course, an easy one to get to. Incarceration, we could put him behind those rocks over there. And banishment. He's just more of a risk out in the Wonderland, isn't he? The execution, the perpetrator will be killed. Simply killing him would free up resources, and that would be needed to keep him. To keep him captive. True. Additionally, it should potentially serve as a deterrent to other would-be murderers and thieves. Some say he simply deserves it. On the other hand, many view killing as a moral evil, especially in the case of a mob justice such as this, which has no real trial or court. And if help does arrive, there will be repercussions for those involved. Incarceration! The perpetrator will be restrained in a makeshift jail made of bamboo and bits of twig. We have no string. Keeping him captive may be the more moral decision. It would prevent him from killing or thieving again. Or will it? If help arrives, he can be put through the proper legal system to be served justice. However, keeping him captive would require a lot of resources, guards, food, and water at the time when supplies are running low and labor is critical. And what if he isn't convicted when help arrives? Banishment. Now we're talking. The perpetrator will be banished to the other side of the island. Given his supposed remorse, forgiveness may be a moral answer. The island is large, and he could reasonably survive by himself on the other side without contact. Additionally, no resources would be spent confining him, and yet he would slowly build up a following. Wouldn't he? And you start creating 2 camps, which only leads to war. But perhaps his remorse is feigned. What if he comes back and steals or kills again? Letting him go might signal to other would-be thieves and murderers that we are weak. The crowd stirs them further. As the debate rages, everybody wants all their cake to finally eat it. But if reality dawns, decisions must be made. There is always a sacrifice. To Baal. The crowd stirs and further and debate rages. Finally, the voices are stilled and the decision is put to a vote. Overwhelmed by the weight of responsibility, you abstain from the voting process because you're a good boy. The numbers are in. A 3-way draw. Of course there is. The call is made. One of the abstainers must cast their vote. Silence! I say nothing. More silence. I try my best. Enough! You must be the one to step forward and choose, they say to me. Which would you do to vote for? I will... Well, in reality, if he can kill his own brother for a sandwich, what do you think he would do to Deirdre? He doesn't give a damn about anyone. If you can kill your own family, then there's that. But also, we don't know the relationship. We also don't know what really happened. You know? Maybe he's taking the blame. It's hard to know. And I like the idea of creating a rebel state. Because that's where I would end up. I'm going to release them. Be gone! Okay. The TV screen abruptly shuts off, and as if to fill its place, a door opens. I sit for a while, taking in what's just happened. Was this little game made for me? Or have I merely stumbled upon an echo of the past? Things are getting stranger by the minute. Taking care to skirt around the now shadowed monitor, I make my way over to the new door. Mountains. The doorway opens back, out into the expanse of the night. A shrill gust of wind combs over my exposed figure. The thought of what awaits me next brings a strange mix of fear and curiosity. What will be the next test to judge my humanity? So far, my journey has only brought me more questions than I bargained for. But answers do not visit like the old family did. And so I put one foot in front of the other, venturing out into the darkness like a Judge Dredd into the apocalypse. Fade to black. To be continued! Decisions must be made. Flesh must be divvied. Thank you for playing Citadel demo. We must get to the Citadel. Well, what do we think of that, ladies and gentlemen? I would say it's bloody marvellous. Yeah, pretty good. I think the music is good, but there's a bit where it kind of races while you're reading. But that might just be annoying for me because I'm speaking out loud. And if I was reading it, maybe it wouldn't bother me at all. So that could be a minor thing. Graphics, I like the graphics. I like the art style. I like the sound effects. I do like the little things like whether you had the steps on the bridge or the breathing, sound of water, stuff like that. So that was really good. I like that the demo's laid out in distinctive like components, so you got the underwater bit, the emerging bit, then the tower bit, the TV bit, and it's just like the separate pieces. That it's not all the same thing, which is important to do because obviously like it's all the same colors all the time, right? And I think like items of like really surprising interest should have like a different color or something like that to make them more impactful. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, what do we think? I like this demo. I thought it was a great taster. It was good length, as she said. Well, she's very generous, and it was just really fun. Just a really fun like visual novel game. So there we go. I've liked it. I've liked it a lot. I'll go. I think I've already wishlisted it, and yeah, we'll wait for it to come out, I guess, and then see how it goes then. But there you are, guys. There we go. So that is the Citadel. If you like this, go to Steam. The link will be downstairs in the boxies below. And of course, while you're down there, please like and subscribe to the channel. Obviously, to see more of this ridiculousness. I've got more. I like doing these little short, little tasters of all these different visual novels. Because sometimes I read one, I'm like, I'm not really that fussed to play the rest of it, and I just really enjoyed the demo, and that was enough for me. Sometimes, you want to play the whole thing. It happens. Hey who. So there we are. And that's what we'll have. That's what I've got on the channel. Lots of different bits and bobs like that. Lots of different videos about like horror, visual novels, all sorts of weird things really. And I'm trying to play like random games I would never usually pick up. I'm literally like tasting all the different sweets in the box of horror. It's really fun. It's a fun experience to play games I wouldn't usually play. And it turns out I actually really like them. So why didn't I usually play them? Because I was stuck in a gaming rut. Now the rut is over. But there we go. So I have been the guppy fish with lizard legs in the river. And you have been the wanderer. You've wandered for years, back and forth, searching. Hope? Who am I? Why are chocolate bars getting smaller every year? Deep questions, spiritual questions. That is you, the seeker. And until the next video, bye-bye.